Happy hump day, coming off a brutal beat in that Brewers game, but we got game 3 of the ALCS. Let's talk some team. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back with some more playoff action. I'm not gonna lie, losing one half unit play doesn't usually get to me, but I am frustrated with, just a terrible beat in that Dodgers Brewers game with the over 7. We'll go over the recap in just a little bit. They had no reason why it did not hit at least 7 or 8. But anyways, this is a great time, obviously. Great having a channel here during a time where the Mariners are now 2 games away from their first World Series. My favorite team, obviously. It doesn't seem real, but you know what? It's not over yet. I'm fired up. We're going to talk about that game in just a little bit. But let's get right into it now. And that means we got to start with a little dad joke for you today on a little Wednesday. So here we go. You think swimming with dolphins is expensive? Try swimming with a shark. It cost my buddy an arm and a leg. In this video, we're going to recap yesterday, unfortunately, and then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups, the pitcher strikeout matchups, the entire one-game pitcher report, and then, of course, I will give you my best bet in this game and finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community. Let's get it rolling, and that means it's recap time. All right, here it is. The over 7 runs that should have a green check mark next to it. First of all, Yamamoto threw an absolute gem. The Brewers just did not come out, and I could say they weren't ready to play, but Yamamoto's a stud. We know he's capable of that. They crushed him the last time earlier this season, but my goodness, a complete game at this point of the season. Absolutely impressive, and the Brewers are now in deep poo-poo, that's for sure. But the over 7 here, guys, even with that, I mean, I told you guys in the handicap, one of these two teams could always go off, and it was the Dodgers. They were going off, putting base runner after base runner. We get to the top of the 8th in a 5-1 game. They get 1 guy on, 2 guys on, and 3 guys on, with 1 out in between. All I need is a sac fly. They don't get it done. They don't get it done. We get 0 runs. Then we go to the top of the 9th. They go single, double, walk. Bases loaded, nobody out. Again, I need 1 run for at least a push. I mean, there's no way they do this again, right? Max Muncy comes in and strikes out. Next guy, double play, 0 runs again. So if you just look at the final score and you look at this bet and you go, man, this guy lost an over 7 on this bet, on this game, had no reason losing. I'm frustrated. It's baseball betting. We've had bad beats all season long. Everybody has it. It's just what baseball does to you. But man, the baseball gods did not like me today. That's for sure. But either way, still 16-11, up 2.61 units on the year, 33-19 in our last 52 bets. So it's time to get some winners, get on a little hot streak again. That's what we got for the recap. Now let's talk some hitter matchups. All right, here we go. We got the good and bad hitter matchups on the same page again here. We start with Anthony Santander of the Blue Jays, 6 for 15 with a couple ding-dongs off of George Kirby. J.P. Crawford, 6 for 12, all singles versus Shane Bieber. George Springer, 3 for 8 against George Kirby. And then Andres Jimenez, 2 for 6 off of Kirby. And then bad hitter matchups, Mitch Garver, 3 for 21 with 13 strikeouts. This man should not be in the starting lineup, obviously, against him. Probably see Dominic Canzone down there in the 7-hole. But Julio Rodriguez, 1 for 9 with 4 Ks off of Bieber. You know, it can be a little worrisome, but again, most of these numbers are Bieber a few years ago before a big injury and all that, so take that for what it is. But that's what we got for the good and bad hitter matchups. Now, let's talk some Ks. All right, we have no elite pitcher strikeout matchups per usual, but I do want to talk about these 2 matchups and kind of go over some numbers for these 2 pitchers. So Shane Bieber against the Mariners, 6th highest K rate. We know they're striking out a ton, almost 30% last 3 weeks, but Bieber, 37 Ks and 40.1 innings this year. He does have 5 or less Ks now in 5 straight starts. Higher K rate on the road, 27.5% compared to 20% at home. Higher K rate versus lefties, 27.5%, only 19 to righties. But again, that's a small sample size, only 40.1 innings thrown. Just want to point that out. The next one, George Kirby against the Blue Jays. We know, like we've talked about all season and every day and every game in this series. The Blue Jays, 2nd lowest K rate versus righties last 3 weeks at a ridiculous 16.4%. Kirby's K rate has jumped to 33.7% in September, October. He now has 6+ Ks in 5 straight starts. What is going to give here? Kirby's K rate going through the roof for these Blue Jays who just do not miss many balls, that's for sure. Slightly higher K rate at home, 26.9, not a big difference there. Almost identical K rate splits versus righties and lefties. So that's what we got for the pitcher strikeout matchups. Now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here it is, the ALCS Game 3 matchup. We got Mr. Justin Bieber against Kirby Puckett. Bieber only lasted 2.2 innings last round. If you watch that start against the Yankees, it was not pretty. Gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs. Again, didn't even make it out of the third inning. It's been up and down. He had a good start to his season, and that's just been kind of okay. You know, nothing terrible. A decent K rate there, a really good walk rate. It's the one thing he does along with Kirby. You shouldn't see too many walks out of these guys. And then George Kirby pitched well last round, obviously going 10 innings over the 2 starts against Detroit, giving up just 13 earned runs, 14 Ks, and 1 walk. That's how impressive he was. But that's what we got for this matchup and all the research help. Now it is time for the best bet. All right, we head out to the Pacific Northwest where the Seattle Mariners host the Toronto Blue Jays. M's on the money line -135, Jays on the money line +110 with a total of 7 runs in this game. Obviously a big change here heading out to Seattle, big time pitchers park here. That's why you see a low 7 here. But my best bet, call it a homer again. Give me the Mariners on the money line -135 on Bet365 for half unit. Last time I took them was Game 5 plus money against Scooble. They got the job done easily in 15 innings. But again, I really just think they have the advantage in all 3 phases. This isn't about me saying, you know, the Mariners are the best and, you know, they're my favorite team. I'm going to have to bet them. I just don't see any disadvantage in this game. So let's start with the starting pitcher matchup first. Shane Bieber versus George Kirby. Bieber struggled last round, like I talked about already, giving up 2 earned run, 3 runs overall, and not even 3 innings. You saw it earlier, 4.62 expected ERA. His numbers on Baseball Savant also show, even though he just had an okay year in the 40 innings only, but he actually had a lucky year. He was in the bottom 10th percentile in barrel rate, hard hit rate, average exit velocity, pretty much below average in everything except whiff rate, walk rate, and ground ball rate. I mean, he just really didn't pitch well. The numbers don't show that too. And like I mentioned earlier, he's had 5 or less Ks in 5 straight starts, so not missing a ton of bats. He struggled versus righties, giving up almost a 300 average, and he's actually faced a few more righty hitters than lefties. He's actually given up 6 of his 8 home runs against righties as well, so giving up some power there. We know the Mariners got some power, so I like them to get to him here. And then George Kirby, we know this guy was awesome in his 2 starts versus Detroit. 2.7 ERA, 1 whip in those 2 starts against Detroit. Been solid at home. 3.38 ERA with a 1.11 whip. Now giving up 2 or less earned runs in 5 straight starts. This guy is one of those pitchers for the Mariners that is finding his form at the perfect time right here. And also in his last 5 starts, how about 45 Ks and 2 walks? That is absolutely elite K to walk ratio right there. And then we go to the bullpen. Mariners bullpen has been elite in the playoffs, and that's an understatement. They have thrown 18.1 consecutive scoreless innings, and now they're rested. I mean, we're talking Andres Munoz and Matt Brash. They're going to be on 2 days rest. Bizardo has been unreal all playoffs long. Jay's bullpen, it's been inconsistent all season. You've already seen the Mariners have gotten to some of these guys. 3-run bomb off Varland and some of these other guys that have struggled already in this series. And then offenses, Blue Jays, I do expect some better at-bats from Toronto here. I mean, it just has to. They've been a solid offense that works counts all year, works pitchers. Not going to be easy at T-Mobile versus George Kirby, but again, their backs are against the wall here. Mariners, so many guys that can step up. We've seen a lot of Jorge Polanco. Cal Raleigh's had great at-bats, you know, hitting like over 400 right now in the playoffs. I'm sure he gets walked once or twice this game, but Julio hitting another 3-run bomb last game. Naylor hit a bomb. Even Suarez almost hit a home run as well. Other than, you know, Rosarena and Victor Robles, this team is putting together some really great at-bats. So they've been a top 3 home run hitting team all season for a reason. Anyways, so offenses, I mean, you could say it's still even. I mean, the Blue Jays have had a good offense all season long. I'm not going to deny that at all. But we have a big advantage here with the starting pitcher, big advantage of the bullpen. On top of all that, the Mariners 53-31 at home this year. Blue Jays 41-42 on the road. We've all known that. They've been a very, very average team on the road. Now, the crowd is going to be going absolutely nuts. That's a given. But here's my worry here. The Blue Jays have their backs against the wall. It's not easy giving that knockout punch to a really good team like Toronto. That is my only worry. We saw it when the Dodgers went up 2-0 and the Phillies came into town. Had to go into LA and play Yamamoto, one of the best pitchers, you know, on planet Earth, and they beat him, and they beat the Dodgers easy. It was like 8-1 because why? Their season was on the line. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen here, but I just want to point out that is my only worry. But everything on paper and how these pitchers and hitters are hitting and pitching right now, I just don't see how they lose this game. So I like getting a playable line. Give me the Mariners on the money line. That is my one and only best bet. I don't really have any props right now. I looked at some of them. George Kirby's right around that 15.5 outs. Seems okay. Maybe under 15.5 outs is a possibility. It's just going 5 innings if these Blue Jays actually, start hitting and working counts like they did earlier in the season. But other than that, that Kirby 4.5 Ks line is so tempting. That's ridiculous to get a low line like that. And then you look at what Toronto's done, and righties are rarely striking out 5 Blue Jay hitters. So it's one of those, something's got to give there. But those are just a couple props I've kind of looked at. But that's what I got for my best bet for Game 3 of the ALCS. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. Give me the M's on the money line, -135 on Bet365 for a half unit. Let's get a winner after that absolutely brutal beat on Tuesday. But thank you guys for watching. Seriously, all season long. It's been awesome. We are getting right down to the end of it as NBA season is creeping up quickly on me. But we'll have a video out on Wednesday also for Thursday Night Football, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.